Flight instruments. We went with the dual Garmin GI-275 attitude indicator and HSI, both with ADHARs. GI-275 attitude indicator with ADHARs not only functions as an attitude indicator, it also has a wealth of information that can place multiple steam gauges. This information is displayed all in one central location on one screen, making your instrument scan much easier. It can display airspeed, vertical speed, altimeter with a digitally selectable barometric setting, headings, CDI with glide slope, and turn coordinator with skid slip indicator. It also opted for the synthetic vision. It is only a $500 digital upgrade that can be done at any time after install, but it brings even more situational awareness for a very limited amount of extra money. This feature is super helpful when flying in IFR, as it allows you to actually see the terrain you are flying over. Mountainous California, this is a must. Synthetic vision also makes approaches way easier because once you are established on the approach course, you can see the runway represented to you in 3D. This helps when flying the glide slope, as it is way easier to interpret than the standard CDI needles. GI-275 HSI with ADHARs. It functions as a normal HSI that automatically slaves itself to the desired course set on the GPS. Nice feature when compared with the mechanical GI-106 CDI we already have installed, which needs to be set manually. And it has a digitally selectable heading bug. Heading bug is a nice to have when being vectored around and did not exist on the old mechanical directional gyro we had before the upgrade. GI-275 HSI can also be switched to the enhanced HSI mode with a color moving map and directional gyro, all while still displaying HSI CDI course guidance. When in this mode and on the ground, the GI-275 HSI will switch automatically to the safe taxi mode, which is definitely nice extra situational awareness after you have landed and received a taxi clearance. Also, as a backup to the GI-275 attitude indicator, the GI-275 HSI can be switched to the attitude indicator mode with all of the same functions as the primary GI-275 attitude indicator. The cost. If you have to ask, then you can't afford it. Just kidding. The cost of the instruments themselves, supplies and synthetic vision totaled, was $9,866. Just as a comparison, Garmin GI-500, and that will run around $15,000, or an Aspen Avionics Evolution 1000 Pro, which is just about the same price as the GI-275s, but would upset the round gauge look of the panel and also cost more in labor to modify the panel to get installed. As for the amount to actually get the instruments installed, I don't want to say because there are many parameters that could alter your final installation cost, but rest assured, it's not cheap, and I don't want to make you cry. What I will say is you can pretty much multiply the cost of the instruments by 1 to 1.5 and get the cost of the labor as a good rough estimate.
Number 9 Victor Delta, I have your clearance for the Reed Hillview Airport, Raspberry copy.
Thunder Victor Delta, ready copy.
Number 9 Victor Delta, you clear the Reed Hillview via direct Echion, maintain 4,000 still established, cleared RNAV Zulu runway 31 route approach.
Thunder Victor Delta, direct Echion, maintain 4,000 and cleared for the 3-1 RNAV Zulu approach.
Number 9 Victor Delta, contact Reed Hillview Tower 119.8.
119.8. Street Tower, this is Twin Cessna 799er Victor Delta on the 3-1 Zulu approach.
Cessna 799 Victor Delta to tower, runway 31 right, cleared to land, verified Papa.
Victor Delta has information, Papa, 31 right, clear land. So the glide slope is coming in, and we're going to be getting on it, and I'll do our pre-landing in just a moment. Alright, now we're on glide slope. I think I'm going to put the boost pumps on. Gas is on full tanks. We are not slow enough, so I'll reduce the speed here. Put in some flaps. There's 15. Pulling up over there. Alright, gear to come down. Three greens. Running lights on. I can turn the heat off. Taxi light is on. Go back to the glide slope here. We'll catch it. So, boost pumps are on. Gas and full tanks. Undercarriage is down. Mixture set to 2. Prop set to full forward. Definitely got some wind here. Oh, it's set from 220. 220's over here, so that's why I'm driving pretty far over the course. It's supposed to be 310. As you can see, it's pointing off to the right, and we're pointing off to the left here. So we're trying to come in up. There's the glide slope. So I'm not looking out because we're on an IFR approach here. At some point, we'll be able to see the runway, but almost every single time, the runway's off to the right, and that's where the majority of the info is. But when we're heading right for it, you'll be able to see it.
You want to know that you're actually sort of headed for it?
Sure. Yeah, I would assume so. I can.
You're pretty close on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are off to the side a little bit, not that much.
Yeah. Well, that's what it shows. It shows that we're off a little bit to the side. But we have a decent. I mean, I said it was only 4 knots on the ground, but 220 is a little on the odd side for Reed Hillview. So I'm assuming it's probably pretty heavy when it's up here. Vent altitude is 533 feet. I have it set to go off at an alarm, audible alarm at, oh, so I can see the runway now, peeking around my altitude there. So I know the runway is right there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. That's how you can cheat. If this were a bigger Garmin, the G500, you'd totally be able to see the runway and be able to cheat. I can't cheat quite as much because I can just barely see the runway peaking and right there. Gotta put full flaps in.
Are you going to look soon? Getting pretty close.
Yeah, alright. Not bad. Engine upgrades. We decided to go with 2 Electronic International CBR30Ps and 1 CBR30C. They actually came as a package. That's the twin package by Electronics International. Why do you install the engine monitors? Well, the best way to know the health of your engine and potential engine failure is to have engine monitors installed. The early warning signs of impending engine failure an engine monitor can show can potentially save your life and prevent further damage to your engine. I normally try and get engine monitor installed in any plane I own not long after I buy it, if it doesn't already have one. Another reason we got an engine monitor was previous engine instruments were old and starting to fail. Each time one of the old instruments failed, it was a lot of money and a lot of downtime on the airplane. It was also a never-ending process of getting each instrument fixed as a new one failed. We opted for the Electronic International CGR30P to keep the round gauge look. Less labor to install on the panel. It offered 2 separate screens with one for each engine. Less chance of both screens going out. And it had the CGR30C, which is an extra display that has more measurements on it that I can even list. While the new engine monitor is great, we opted to keep a few of the old engine instruments just in case the digital ones went out. However, as you can see, it's actually the old backup tachometer that has died instead. But that brings me back to the point of the never-ending death of the original engine instruments. I do like the old tach, and that one will be fixed at some point. The cost. The initial cost was $10,298 with a mail-in rebate of $1,200 that brought the price down to $9,098. Just like it did not cover the installation cost of the Garmin GI-275s, I won't include the price of the install of the engine monitors. This is mainly due to the fact that the installation of the engine monitors is probably one of the most expensive instruments to install in an airplane, and on a twin, you get to incur this price twice. There are several options for engine monitors, but many of them are not certified to replace the primary engine instrument. As the goal was to remove many of the aging and failing instruments, we needed engine monitor to be capable of being the primary engine instrument. Thus, we chose the Electronics International CGR 30P with the CGR 30C.